Giovanna?
About Winnie. She decide to be a doe?
She did. She'll require a lighter touch than other recruits, but we'll make do. Apparently, the poor thing had only been on the street a week before you and I found her. Her father died in a mugging, you see. He was her only family.
Poor thing doesn't cover the half of it. That's barely enough time to grieve, let alone figure out how to live alone.
That is some consolation. It's easier to grieve or feel anything, really, when your needs are taken care of.
You used to be like Winnie and Jenna, right? So how'd you end up with the does?
Through the usual means, really. Abandon a child, leave her to fend for herself, and if she's very clever, very tough, or very anything, she might get an invitation to one of Marm's schools.
Somehow, I doubt that's all there was. You weren't just interested in those two because you liked them. They had something special. She slowly smiles, as pleased as a magician pulling back their curtain on some years-old trick.
There are a lot of young couriers in the city. If you wear the right outfit and say the right things, anyone could be persuaded to give you what you ask for.
Knowing you, that must have worked out pretty nicely.
Beautifully. I got a new coat, a bolt of silk, and a doe's button before they tracked me down. Fortunately, the doe was in need of a recruit, and I was in need of new opportunities. Ta!
Look what the cat dragged in.
Look, Cress, about what happened at Pandemonium.
If you're about to apologize, save it. I don't want to hear from you. Dreamland's never been kind to Aetherians. Only got worse after that damn fire.
Amateur sleuths and tabloids alike have thrown around answers to the Pandemonium fire like it's a game of pitch penny. A vengeful Aetherian might have only been one of them, but it still left a mark.
Drive safe.
Holding up all right?
Thought the Undercity League was supposed to be a neutral organization, but here you are, helping to run the underground from the top.
The League is unaware of my affiliation with the Underground, and I prefer it stay that way. If, God forbid, I'm discovered, that will allow them to deny culpability.
Still a hell of a risk if you ask me. What's stopping the Barons from deciding the whole League's gotta go? The Aether's pale washed eyes fall on mine, feeling centuries older than his salt-peppered hair would imply.
I've dealt with Barons longer than the Underground. Though the Barons may call us rats, and though they may disparage our contributions, they need someone to keep the peace. Without us, they would be putting themselves at the mercy of hundreds of thousands of Aetherians.
I grimace as I place myself in the Baron's shoes. I could get rid of the League. Most Aetherians would keep us flying, but one might decide to let us drop. That's enough to make me flinch. I've read a little of the Undercity League in the papers. Your name usually comes up with it.
It keeps us visible. Though the headlines are not always flattering, they remind the world that Aetherians exist. They force topsiders to see us as fellow humans, making it easier to get their cooperation.
From what Cress said in White Street, it doesn't sound like every Baron agrees.
Cressa often sees a glass half empty, for good reason. However, wars are not fought with only one weapon. Negotiation is a tool you use for prolonged conflict. And when negotiation fails, the League offers alternatives. Legal aid, financial support, and on the rare occasion, physical solutions.
White Street's in civil war right now. How are the Aetherians holding up?
Better than others. Although Eli's forces are in conflict, most of the fighting remains topside. However, the lack of leadership makes negotiations precarious.
Surprised there's anyone left to negotiate with. Figured Eli's people would be too busy fighting each other to obey the chain of command.
Certain offices hold more protections than others, such as the scrapyard. It's currently controlled by Theodore Lutzko. It gives him authority over the supply lines.
We've met. From what I heard, he's been less than reliable about sending supplies to Aetherians.
Lutzko is not a malicious man. He takes his duty seriously. However, when you consistently deprioritize your Aetherians, there are consequences. When things calm down, I hope to visit Arkstad again. There's a memorial plan for those lost in Eli's purge, including Alexander and Maria. I'd like to attend if possible.
Because they were fellow Aetheniers? Or because they were part of the underground?
They were more than that. They were good friends, and Arkstad deserves to know that the League stands with them. Cressa shouldn't have to go and mourn alone. See you!
Say, Apollo, why do they call him Soap, anyway?
I gather it's on account of his squeaky clean gambling record. Never lost a single bet, if you believe the stories. But I prefer to think of it this way. He's as slippery as they come.
So, remind me then, why is it we think he'll help us take down Marm?
He might not. But he's a socialite, and we're highly susceptible to flattery and bribery. I'm sure you can convince him.
That's all you got for me?
Sorry, darling, can't do much else from here. But you've got a handle on things, right?
If I didn't, you and I wouldn't even be talking right now.
That's what I like to hear. Good luck. They say Soap's parties are as wild as they come. I'd like to see it myself sometime.
Yeah, can't wait. Talk to you later.
Ah, you're back.
How's an uppers movie star go from whining and dining celebs to running a lowers rebellion?
Would you believe the movies inspired me?
That's it? You played enough pretend revolutionaries you decided to be one for real?
Why not? I have more than enough money to fund a war chest and the drive to use it. Why not use it to fix this rotten town, eh?
A lot of celebs dabble in philanthropy. They usually stick to dropping donations and running charity balls without needing to step 1 foot in the trenches. I watch as the glib plating flakes off, revealing the fiery resolve underneath.
And? What good are those? The system's broken. Might toss it all down the well while I'm at it.
But you're sure fighting the Barons will fix it?
Oh, it's just the start. I look at the people we're helping, and you know who I see. My parents. Good people. Fled to this country to escape violence, only to face the same hatred here. The underground might be small now, but we fight the fight others can't. Better than getting fat off caviar, I say.
So what's the story between you and Sam? I know the Undercity League's got some pull around the city, but I doubt that usually includes movie stars.
Luck, I suppose. Old Iron Hand helped me out of a scrap back in the early days. Sorted out some trouble between me and the Paupers.
Paupers? What the hell did you do to piss them off?
Needed a spot to hide, I'm afraid. I was running supplies to a budding resistance group when the shooting started. Ducked into an Aethenier tunnel before they took my head off.
And you got lost. He smiles, as innocent as a wolf idling near a field of sheep.
I'd heard rumors of Aetheniers fighting the fight. Bypassing terriers, smuggling resources, rolling back years added to contracts, etc. Thought I'd see if they'd like to chat. Took a few meetings before Iron Hand was willing to let slip that he was one of them. After that, we were as close as houses on fire. Till next time.
Miss.
Back so soon. Do widzenia.
Hey there. Drive safe.
Nellie's not here. Maybe she's at the root cellar with Gardner.
Oh, but what if we used an alternating charge? It could increase Daisy's output exponentially.
I suppose it's possible. However, you'll need an opposing resonance.
Of course! We can start with datasets 13 through to 15, measure particle strength, and the... Oh, hi, Gia! The professor and I were discussing a new dispersal test. He was just telling me of a supplier who could...
That's great, but it's not why I'm here. Remember Eli's red Aether? Somehow Marm's got our hands on it. A lot of it. It's how she's expanding her barony. The reminder shuts a blind over her enthusiasm. Her shoulders shrink, withering like a plant in a dark cupboard.
What? How? It shouldn't have...
Shouldn't have been what? Gotten out? You said that before, back in White Street. Where's this red Aether coming from?
It's... Gia, I wish I could tell you. Truly, but I simply can't.
What Eleanor means is that she signed an agreement, one with, regrettably, severe penalties for breaking confidentiality.
What sort of penalties are we talking about?
The kind that could ruin a researcher. To start, you'd lose your position at the finest Aether Institute in the country and all its resources. Then you'd have to pay back any outstanding investments the Institute's put into your work.
It'd be really, really bad, Gia. And my parents, what would they say? They expected me to thrive at the Institute. If I were cast out of the Heights, it'd be a terrible disappointment.
Olympus Park has that much pull?
Quite. The Heights doesn't have barons, but it does have a number of influential benefactors, some of which sit on the board. I promise you, drawing their ire is not an enjoyable experience.
This doesn't sound like the first time you're hearing about red Aether.
Oh, Alistair is one of the experts who helped... I mean...
It's all right, Eleanor. You're quite correct, Miss Randazzo. I'm familiar with red Aether and its applications, for better and worse. Which is why I find it troubling to hear it spread further than a tiny corner of Eleanor's lab.
Look, kid, I get it. But you've seen it yourself. That stuff is out there, and we need to know where it's coming from. Next time could be a hell of a lot worse than a cannon.
I know, but... Professor, isn't there something we can do? Surely an exception can be made.
Gardner smooths his hand over the table, regarding Nellie's plea like a puzzle short a corner piece. He finds the solution with a soft rap of his knuckles.
Well, only one of us has clearance and tenure. If, hypothetically, I were to consult while you were away at the bar, you could hardly be held accountable. Oh, and order what you like. It's a business expense.
Thank you so much, Professor Gardner. Oh, but what should I get? I usually drink soda or water, you see. Maybe something that takes a while to make?
I'm confident you'll find something.
Nellie flits off to the bar to learn spirits, leaving me with her mentor. Despite the clinking of glasses behind the bar and the stains on warped wood, the man looks at me like I'm a student in his office.
How much do you know about red Aether, Miss Randazzo?
Tightly focused Aether, right? You increase the resonance until its energy potential increases enough to turn it red. Makes it powerful but unstable.
You're absolutely correct. We'll skip the basics then. Have you ever met researchers with cabin fever? They get up to the most novel experiments, flight, light, even music, thanks to our Aether resonance team. It's how we ended up with a new kind of Aether, and the crater in the birch room.
The Heights made red Aether?
You have to understand, Miss Randazzo. Olympus Park creates new wonders every day, but not everything should ever be released. We couldn't even trust ourselves with red Aether, so we locked it away.
Then why is it in the lowers?
I have my suspicions. Olympus Park is not as untouchable as our namesake. There is no shortage of bad actors who'd tear through the walls to get their hands on even a drop of our tech. Such as hiring a villain to break into the Heights, destroy our lab, and attempt to kidnap one of our prized scientists.
The professor's palm rests on the top of his cane, as solemn and heavy as a hand on a headstone. I wonder if he still feels the heat of explosives and fire, if he was even conscious for it.
It was an utter tragedy. I recruited them, truly brilliant people. Lost in an instant, thanks to sheer recklessness.
You said you came to bloody, bruised, and alone. And sometime after that, you ended up on Ellis Island.
An awful thing to wake to. I had board members at my heels, fighting my request to leave. Investigators demanding to know what happened, doctors ordering bed rest, But it worked out. Eleanor's safe. And that's all that matters.
She sounds like a lot more than a researcher to you. Gardner simply smiles, as naturally as if Nellie were really his own.
I've known Eleanor since she was 16. Her parents, lovely people, knew that they had a genuine prodigy. They didn't want their child to go out into the world alone. I gave my word she wouldn't.
You said it yourself. The Heights isn't untouchable, and the gunman who started the fire's still running around. Why risk bringing her back to the scene of the crime?
I'm embarrassed to admit I simply wasn't thinking. I'd finally found Eleanor. I'd heard war had broken out in White Street, and I thought, she's been through so much. Best get her home quickly.
If you were in that much of a rush, what took you so long to find her? You obviously have resources. There's faster ways to find someone than planting coded messages in radio ads.
You know the Lowers more intimately than I, Miss Randazzo. Money, influence, and connections only go so far when half the baronies are in conflict. And believe me, I tried.
A deep weariness drapes around his shoulders, made up of several weeks worrying. He looks to the bar, as though confirming Nellie was still where he'd left her.
I'm aware I seem unreasonable. I came into your lives and nearly spirited Eleanor away without explanation. But wouldn't you do anything to keep someone you cared about safe?
My mind places the shadowed streets and warring baronies against a kiss of sunlight from upstairs. And I hate that I see his point. There's a creep chasing Nellie. Black hat, scars, professional killer. Calls himself Dufresne. Know anything about him? Gardner's brows twitch downward, leaving furrows deep enough to catch water.
I'm afraid I wouldn't. Arson and murder aren't quite my department. What about you, Miss Randazzo? Surely you and your friends have looked into him?
Mostly through our run-ins. He said someone hired him to bring her home.
Eleanor still has family and associates in the uppers. Perhaps not everyone was pleased when she left her old life for the Heights.
Enough to keep Dufresne on the hunt? Someone like him isn't cheap. If Nellie knew anyone else with that kind of money, she wouldn't have worried about cash flow.
Then perhaps we're looking at it from the wrong angle. Eleanor has a mind that's seen once in a generation. If, say, someone is willing to kill for a wallet, what would they do for a scientist capable of fixing the well?
My skin wants to crawl off my seat. Dufresne had torn apart my car to get Nellie's journal. If Nellie's gray matter was that valuable, his faceless employer might never give up the chase. At the bar, Thomas puts away a load of glasses, each clinking away to its rightful place. I stare, feeling like I'm a few glasses short a full set of answers. Sounds like the brainiacs in the Heights don't know what's going on either.
Unfortunately. I'm truly sorry I can't tell you more, but maybe we can still find some answers. I'll inform them of the red Aether leak. See what they can find.
I bite back a cynical remark about whether the Heights will share when Nellie trots back with an amber-filled glass.
So, how was it? Did you need a little longer?
Got the gist of it, thanks. Wait, is that bourbon?
Oh, yes! I've never tried it, but the gentleman at the bar ordered 2 on the rocks already, so it must be good.
Oh, my dear, that's a rather strong drink. Are you certain that's where you'd like to start?
Oh, well, I'm certain I can manage, and it would be a shame to waste it.
Only one way to find out. Apparently, watching someone knock glasses back hadn't prepared Nellie for how to drink it. She takes a big gulp, and it promptly comes back up with a sputter. Easy, kid. You're supposed to take it in sips.
But in the movies, they always...
Often exaggerate and lie for dramatic effect, I'm afraid. Now then, let's get this cleaned up.
Thomas will get you a towel. Just remember to give him a good tip.
Yes. Also, Nellie, darling, might I recommend something sweeter? There's a lovely apricot drink.
Yes?
I found this while snooping around. What do you think?
Oh, wowzers! I might be able to make you something with this. If you can find me some more material, I bet I could make something to help you while you're out on the road. This is enough for something else I've been working on. I'm so excited for you to see it. Just check the steamer trunk the next time you're here. Let me know if there's anything I can...
Back so soon. Don't be a stranger.
Back already, huh? See ya.
I ankle over to the bar, squeezing between a chair and the dough to order a well-deserved drink. The routine lowers my guard, leaving me vulnerable to the unknown passenger in my pocket. What the? Instead of a wallet, my fingers close around a kitschy elephant doll. If the doll wearing Dreamland's colors wasn't enough of a smoking gun, Sophie's laugh is. Soph, what the hell is this?
It's Topsy, one of Dreamland's most darling mascots. We even have a building in her likeness.
Yeah, well, bully for Topsy. What's she doing in my pocket?
Don't look so suspicious. I was only having a little fun, and I needed an excuse to practice my sleight of hand.
So what? You thought you'd slip a doll into my pocket? I would have thought you'd try making off with my wallet.
We're not all common cut purses. I could pick the pocket of everyone here, and they'd go to bed without realizing it. But that's so... banal. Leaving something they're unfamiliar with, however, requires finesse.
I don't know about that. Pickpocketing and reverse pickpocketing are pretty similar if you ask me.
Oh? Why don't you give it a try then? We can make a game of it. Put Topsy into Tiana's handbag without her noticing.
What are we playing for? More secrets?
Tempting, but no. I'd hate to make things feel stale. So why not a drink? You can pick whichever you like.
All right. And if I lose?
I'll try to pick something within your budget. This is for fun.
Why Tiana? She do something to warrant a hazing?
Nothing recent, but she and I used to attend school together. I thought she could do with a little nostalgia.
Uh-huh. So you won't mind taking the fall when Tiana gets mad.
Of course. It is my idea, after all. And unless she's grown rusty, she'll know who's to blame anyway.
What the hell? I could use the practice. Just have your money ready. We work out a plan. I take Topsy to a nearby stool and idle for a few, creating a cushion of deniability before Sophie starts.
Tiana, darling. You seem comfortable. Taking a break?
Sophia, tell me, does Tetka know where you spend your time off?
I don't think Mom cares, as long as I have the sense to do it away from prying eyes. The hole may be drab, but I'll give it this much. No one would suspect anyone of taste to come here.
That is what makes it good for business, no? Particularly the kind done under the table.
While the pair of old schoolmates chat each other up, Sophie awaits my instruction. Tiana might be quicker with a pen than a knife, but her insight's still sharp enough to cut through any obvious ploys. I tap the counter 3 times.
Gunther's easy to bribe, you see. He loves peach schnapps and... Oh, that is a lovely pocket you have hidden in your wrap. May I?
Aha. You know what they say. Look, but don't touch.
Of course. Then, may I get your professional opinion? You see, Mom's recruited a new tailor from Bluebird, and I'm not convinced of the design.
Tiana smiles thinly. I don't know who's giving the harder shakedown, but soon they're talking tailors and imports. As Tiana's critical eye probes Sophie's cape, I slip the doll into her hiding spot.
Is that so? I'll pass her name along then. Thank you, darling. How should I repay you? A drink, perhaps?
Ha! Information like that will cost you more than a glass of wine. Come see me after hours. I'm sure we'll find something suitable to settle your debt.
Tiana reaches for her bag. I feel like I'm watching a thriller. Anticipation building to a silent orchestra as I hear the bag click open and Tiana gasp.
Sophia. Giovanna.
If you're looking to make a sale, I grew out of dolls years ago. Tiana gives me a look that could cut diamonds.
Relax. Well, give yourself wrinkles. It was just a little prank. I recently picked up this doll and thought I'd remind you of old times.
You remind me why I am no longer one of Marm's lost girls. Giovanna is not one of your orphans. Save your games for them.
The fence gathers her bag and leaves. To my surprise, she takes the doll with her. Maybe next time I see Topsy, she'll be on the shelf of Pier 6 with a lush price tag. What was that about?
Well, nothing much. We does compete with each other from an early age, so we learned to make games of it. Leaving surprises for one another is one of the first things we learn.
And you never grew out of it, huh? That's why Lizzie tried jumping you. It's just another game to you does.
Yes, not every game is as dangerous as a car chase, but they stick with us all the same. So, I like to ensure girls like Winnie learn healthier ones. But never mind that. You won the bet, and I owe you a drink. What would you like?
We settle up. I might have felt a little bad ordering a glass that'd rival the glass cages, if she didn't order something more expensive for herself.
Giovanna?
Tiana never talks much about her school days.
That's no surprise. She was rather quick to leave once she learned everything she could. And before we even had a chance to take her out to celebrate graduation.
She talks about Marm, though. Her tetka. From the sounds of it, Marm used to be pretty fond of her before their falling out. Must have made things tense on occasion.
Are you asking if I was ever jealous of her?
Were you?
It's certainly possible. But as you've already seen, I have my share of green-eyed rivals to deal with. Between them and Tiana, Tiana was always the lesser threat.
I've seen Tiana shake down schmucks for giving her a bum deal. Lesser threat's the last way I'd describe her.
It's because, Giovanna, she and I weren't playing the same game. Even back then, I never felt her interests were in competing to be Marm's heir. And I've never had an interest in her little fencing scheme. See you soon, darling.
Miss Randazzo, thank you.
How can I help?
Nellie called you Professor. So what's your job up there exactly? I thought you couldn't even get into Olympus Park unless you were already one of the city's brightest.
That title's more of an affectionate artifact these days. I still teach on occasion, between supervising our younger members and the lab, but Olympus Park keeps me busy being their mouthpiece. To your point, while we recruit the city's brightest, many often come from less robust backgrounds. So we try to fill in the gaps and give them opportunities they might not have elsewhere.
Uh-huh. How many of those include Lowers recruits?
Admittedly, less than I would like. New York is a very big place. There are hundreds of baronies in the Lowers alone, and they all require a unique touch. Too many brilliant minds slip through the cracks. But we do what we can. For example, 3 months ago, I recruited a lovely woman from Bell's Point. She demonstrated a radio doll and a snap-on umbrella cover.
A doll and an umbrella cover? Don't usually see the likes of those on Heights posters.
A shame, because they're no less intriguing. A talking doll that could be repurposed for long-distance communication. An umbrella cover that was prototyped despite being told it was undoable. If someone could do that with limited resources, think of what they could do in an ideal working environment.
You were on Ellis Island for a while. See much of the Lowers from there?
I'm afraid not. I needed to remain close to the station in case Eleanor heard my message.
So you never stepped away from your post once?
Well, I did make one personal trip. I used to visit a hole-in-the-wall coffee shop back when I spent more time in the Lowers. It had a delightful roast. I wish now I'd talked the secret out of them.
Why? What happened to it?
The most recent Baron decided to pave a new road over it. Apparently, they got tired of driving around the neighborhood.
You used to spend time in the Lowers?
Miss Randazzo, I hate to draw attention to my age, but there are still some of us who remember watching the first Uppers Island fly. I was born in the lowers, and I worked here for some number of years.
Hard to imagine it. We don't have much in the way of higher education, let alone what you'd find upstairs.
Though I wasn't in academia back then, I was a clerk. My family helped manage affairs between uppers and lowers baronies. Banal, but necessary, until the Prosperity Crusades started.
The Prosperity Crusades. The first time the uppers and the lowers barons ever warred against each other, fighting over islands like kids over toys. More than a few were left broken beyond repair. Heard about those days. It's what got Angel's Court sunk, right? A riot broke out. Didn't end until the barony crashed into the burrows.
A dreadful time, but losing an island over a senseless squabble was among the worst of it. A truce was signed, but... well, I don't need to tell you the rest.
In other words, the moment Angel's Court faded from memory, baronies went back to war.
Goodbye for now.
There you are. Do widzenia.
There's a commotion at the far end of the boulevard. A group of Marm's enforcers have begun running a velvet rope across the thoroughfare while directing traffic down the nearest side street. Normally, this wouldn't be an issue, but I've been drawing a lot of attention to myself lately, and there's a strong chance one of the goons might recognize me if I get too close. I crank the wheel hard to the right and glide down the nearest alley, hoping to put some distance between me and the local authorities. It's a narrow fit, but on the other end there's daylight. I'm safe for now. I round the corner and find myself in the mother of all traffic jams. I strain my neck to see what's causing the gridlock, and spot a number of Marm's finest have cordoned off the road ahead. I breathe out slowly to steady myself. I'm not carrying anything explicitly illegal, but there's enough heat around me. The car in front of me floats past the barricades, and I idle forward slowly, making an effort not to look jumpy. Evening, ma'am. If you don't mind my ask.
Routine crowd control. A lot of money out on these streets tonight.
Never can be too
Glad you think so. Means this won't be any-
Do what you've gotta do. I pop the trunk and wait for Marm's finest. The air is thick with anticipation among the crowd of ledgemen gathered at the docks. Looking for Luca Mazzi in the heart of Union territory isn't the smartest move I've ever made, but I need him. Goods from all across the globe come to New York across these docks. Spain, France, England, even the Kingdom of Italy makes an appearance. My Italian's a little rusty, but I think I recognize one of the brand logos. A bucking stallion. I look around to make sure all the dock workers are occupied with other things, then slice through the shipping seal on the crate. The lid slides off, revealing row after row of neatly packed repulsors. I claim a set for myself before sliding the lid back on and slipping away. A boxing ring has been erected here quickly, but the promoters have pulled out all the stops. The crowd is filled with rambunctious men eager for a fight. I carefully make my way through, minding my nose for a loose elbow. In no time, I find myself cornered by a sleazy bookmaker, flanked by a pair of Union toughs. These men have seen nothing but trouble, and are practically begging me to start some.
Hey there, little sister. Don't be in such an all-fired hurry now. What's a fight without a little on the side to keep things interesting?
He's obnoxious and loud enough to be heard over the crowd, and on top of that, he's squarely in my path, blocking my approach. I have no choice but to deal with the leech. Between the lummox blocking my view and the rest of the crowd forming an effective screen, it's hard to make out any details. I crane my neck, trying to spot Luca. Maybe a little distraction to get the bookie looking elsewhere for a few seconds. Say, isn't that Apollo Diamond passing by the beer stand? Who's that leggy dame he's got on his arm?
What? This I gotta see.
With the bookie looking for a mirage, I peek at the action. The two fighters are going at it hammer and tongs. The bigger one is taking solid hits he should be slipping or blocking. Afraid I don't know the match. Who's on the card tonight?
Lucas' best days are behind him. Big and tough, but he's a tomato. Dom is smaller, all right, but he's got a lot of pep and a lightning-fast jab. Now, you gonna bet or get lost?
All right, keep your shirt on, for both our sakes. Experience counts for a lot. My money's on Luca. The bookie makes with a grin like a bent cop at a speakeasy. I might have made a mistake. The bookie steps aside, allowing me to edge in closer to the ring. Finally, I can see the fight without having to sneak a peek around a bunch of sweaty ledgemen. I might have thrown my money away. Luca looks halfway to punch drunk. Even as I watch, the kid crosses a left and right on the big guy's chin, hard enough that I wince.
Yeah, Dom! Show him what's what!
The bell rings, a mercy for Luca. I don't think he landed a clean punch the entire round. Furious faces in the crowd ring out, telling Luca he's a bum. Dom is celebrating with a victory tour of the ring.
See what I'm doing to this washed-out oldster, folks? Ugh. Best he throws in the towel. I'm not responsible for what happens next. I'm the new king. You hear me? Me!
Spittle flies from the firebrand's lips as he berates the crowd, who seem to be divided in their response. Some cheer the kid on, some jeer at the mismatched fight. Others just stare at their feet. Mercurial youth strides forth to meet the aging, immovable object at the center of the ring. It looks like Dom is saying something, but I can't make out any details from here. Further words are exchanged, but the chatter and calls of the crowd swallow up any chance of hearing the ring talk from here. Slippery as an eel, I weave in and out of the ledgemen in the crowd. I get to the edge of the ring quickly enough that I catch the tail end of Dom's remarks.
Once I put you on the mat, old man, you're finished. For good. You're finished. Courtesy of...
Dom suddenly looks up and I catch his glare. He breaks off eye contact with a flinch like I just flicked a lit match at his face. He retreats to his corner. What was that all about?
Final round, boys. Last chance of making some quick moolah. Luca or Dom? Who's gonna come out on top?
Once again, I find the bookie in my face, insisting on my custom. The shyster's eyes have fallen like he's just been called out on his bar tab after that disaster of a second round.
Come on, little sister, take a chance. Buy yourself some new earrings. What do you say?
Luca took a brutal beating in the previous round. I wonder if maybe I didn't flush my steak down the john.
So, what's it gonna be?
Still have a good feeling about Luca. I want to double down. The bookie clucks his tongue ruefully, as if to absolve himself of my decision. Something you want to say? He chortles like a kid at the circus as I hand over my cash.
Hey, it's your money. If you want to back a washed-up loser like Luca, who am I to say no?
The final round starts. Luca and Dom touch gloves. The disheartened spectator peels away from the crowd, giving me an opportunity to slip into his place.
Go get him, Fjord! Knock his teeth out!
Dom lands hits with impunity. Luca, apparently exhausted, lowers his defense and the onslaught begins. His sweat and blood spatter the canvas around his feet.
You ready, old man? Time for your nap.
The younger fighter comes in hard, his right already cocked to deliver a punishing overhand to Luca's temple, sure to turn out the lights. Luca's eyes shift up, suddenly sharp and alert. He lowers his hands, punches down his body like a receding piston. The crowd clams up. Everyone at the venue can hear the thud as Dom's shoulders hit the mat. Floored with a single explosive uppercut, courtesy of Luca.
Luca! Luca!
Luca stomps off as soon as the 10 count is through. He slings a towel over his neck and stomps off into the crowd, who part for the old war machine. Dom lies in the center of the ring, sprawled face down. His corner man and 2 others beside take his arms. His toes scrape the mat as he's dragged away, a broken toy.
All right, take your dough. You got lucky on that one. Luca ain't long for the world, the way he's going. He throws himself into every fight head first, hoping it's his last.
The crowd breaks up amid a smattering of low murmurs. The bookmaker looks over his receipts for the day, grimacing. Maybe he wasn't expecting Luca to pull it off either. Speaking of, where in the hell did that hulking brute go? How could a guy that big and memorable disappear into thin air like that? Time to play detective. Apart from the sea of masculinity surrounding the fight, a couple pieces of velvet were working the crowd, with sultry looks and inviting over-the-shoulder glances. Maybe they saw where Luca went.
Time is money, honey. You want to hang around and gawk? I'll give you a rate.
I could feel their eyes running up and down, sizing me up. Was I competition? A jealous wife? I had their attention.
Or maybe you'd like to come in for some tea and a cuddle? We've got you covered. Whatever you need.
She's laying it on pretty thick. Business must be slow tonight. Sorry, ladies, but I'm not on the menu tonight. I'm looking for Luca Mazzi. Seen him? Big boy, dripping like a leaky pipe, mitts like power shovels.
Hey, if you want the skinny, show me the dough. Nothing in this life is free.
Okay, I'll bite. Will a few greenbacks loosen your girdle?
I knew you'd see things my way, honey.
The woman next to her erupts with peals of giggles. I didn't think it was that funny, but she's probably had a hard night. Luca Mazzi. I need a minute of his time.
Nothing there but bad road, honey.
Look, did you see him or not?
Please. You're not Luca's type. If you keep after him, you're just gonna go get your heart broke. Maybe your head, too.
It's not like that. I'm talking about business, not pleasure.
Oh, why didn't you say? Business. Look at the business woman. You look like any other round heels mooching around down here. Better make with some details.
I'm talking about the transportation business. Marm business, if you catch my meaning. Her eyes widen. Too late, I see the bubbly girl has pulled a 2-shot holdout from her handbag. Without a hint of that giggling charm, she pushes the barrel up against me enough to hurt.
Not with the doughs. That's clear from your outfit. That means if you're asking about Mom, you're looking to make trouble. Luca doesn't need your kind of trouble.
I'd better make a move, talk fast, or take a powder before my brains paint the wall. Whoa, no need for the hardware. I'm here to offer Luca a deal, not looking to start trouble with him or Marm. I'm here to make money, not trouble.
Enough of the Akamarakas, honey. Who are you and what's your pitch?
Look, I'm a runner by trade. Word has it Luca is having some trouble, and when I hear trouble, I hear the dinner bell ringing. Betting there's a way we can all get paid into the bargain.
Plausible, but only just. You're being watched, honey.
The talker nods to her faux airhead friend who lowers the gun. I exhale, not realizing I'd been holding my breath that long.
Sorry, but I don't know where Luca is. Just watch your step.
How about the Union? They make up your clientele. Do you know where they meet?
Congress Hall. When they're not out here breaking their backs.
So, what's with this place? Make a good living out here? The girls in my neighborhood mostly answer calls instead of working out of houses these days.
Yeah, but we cater mostly to ledgemen and sailors that come through, and you'll find them at the docks. Not that you'd find Luca at our joint. He's a one-woman kind of man.
So long, ladies. Stay safe out there.
You too, honey. It's a tough world.
I spy a group of Australian sailors gabbing like schoolgirls, not far from where they watch the fight. They might have sailed the skies, but they're just out of short pants in my book. Hi there, boys. One of the sailors responds with a low wolf whistle, to the delight of his fellows. I pretend not to notice how many of them are blushing. Say, I'm looking for...
Us? Please say you're looking for us.
Mate, the PO says the only way you can get attention from a Dreamland Sheila is to put up your dukes. Mom's does don't give their time to weak sisters. Deadly beautiful, right?
These boys aren't dangerous, but they're not listening, and things could get out of hand. I better find a good way to play this. The sailors are as aggressive as you'd expect them to be on shore leave. Maybe a taste of their own medicine will throw them off balance. Now, what about my reputation? You can't expect me to just fold for the first big, strong sailor man to make eyes at me.
The lady knows quality, boys. And that's me. She's got that glit in her eye, though. She's up to something.
The strapping sailor advances on me, rubbing his knuckles. I know where this is headed.
I always wanted to land a date with one of the does. Best 2 out of 3, darling. Then maybe drinks and dancing.
Ugh, are you serious?
Fists or fillies. It's all one to me.
The sailor is eager and fast with his fists, but telegraphs his blow from a mile away. I slip his haymaker easily. Kid, you're out of your league.
Oh, slick move. I learned some slick moves myself, from a fella in the Orient.
The kid pivots on his rear heel, spinning around smartly with his other leg straight out in a hooking kick, but too slow. I shove his back as he turns and falls on his face. Seriously, I don't have time for monkey shines. You see where Luca Mazzi went?
The boxer? That guy fights dirty. Why would you want him?
Luca? You think he's dirty?
Were you watching the same fight, lady? He could have won any time he wanted. He was holding out to ramp up the betting. You can do better than him.
Don't be like that now. It's business, that's all.
Maybe once you're done with your business, you'll let me take you out for a drink.
I can't help but smile as they move along. They're incorrigible. Was I ever so carefree at their age? The old man's breath rattles in his chest as he stares out into the sea of fog, his exhalations misting like a cloud of dust from a dilapidated house. Something in his stance gives me a glimpse back in time. His shoulders speak of a man whose blood once pumped with vitality and grace, stolen from him too soon. Hey, old-timer, are you doing all right? The old gent's roomy eyes clear incrementally as he finds his voice. He lives in memory now, with little regard for the waking world.
Anna, my sweet, sweet daughter. I knew you'd come.
My gut wrenches in an exquisite surge of pity brought on by his pain. This man has been hard done by in this life, and has retreated into the only safe place he has left. The odds aren't great, but maybe this old gent knows something about Luca. It won't hurt to poke around a little. Hello, Dad. I said I'd be back. What are you doing outside?
Oh, just watching. Waiting for something.
The old man trails off as he looks out into the shapeless fog. He mutters to himself before clearing his throat.
Do you remember when you were a little girl and we'd have lunch out here together? It was the only time I'd get to see you most days.
Worn shoes shuffle nearer the edge. This place is a tipping point where one can stare into the yawning ocean far below. A small mercy.
Such a good girl, Anna. I have something for you to give to your sister, Lucille.
Come on, Dad. Let's go give it to her together, and we can get away from this ledge. You'll catch a cold.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm just talking with some old friends. Make sure Lucille gets this letter before it's too late, will you, honey?
Who are your friends, Dad? Going to introduce me?
Been a long time, hasn't it? Remember Nicholas? He used to bounce you on his knee until you laughed. And Ray, he let you work the crane with him when the boss was out.
The old man's eyes glisten with tears. Clearly, he sees something in the fog that I can't.
I'll tell the boys you say hello. They'll be tickled pink.
Dad, I'm looking for Luca. Remember Luca?
Little Luca Mazzi? Do you know his brother Marco? Oh, that's an impressive kid. Natural athlete, college-bound, real respectable. Going places, that kid. Oh, he's a nice boy. Follows his brother everywhere. But you can do a lot worse than that Marco Mazzi, Anna, if you really love him.
The old man's eyes fill with clouds. Just like that, I've lost him to his memories again. Where is Lucille these days, Dad? I forget.
Oh, Anna, you'd forget your head if it weren't attached. Maybe we should have put you through school after all, despite your mother's wishes.
The old man shuffles over to me and puts his palsied hand on my shoulder, pointing to the brothel just by the docks.
That big, beautiful hotel there? She must be doing well. She hasn't asked me for a dime in weeks. Oh, could you give her the letter for me, Anna? I want to see her later when she has time.
The old man presses the wrinkled letter into my hands and trudges away, each step heavy with the weight of history.
What? You need something else so soon?
Sorry to bug you, ladies. An old gent asked me to deliver this letter to Lucille.
Oh, honey. Lucille died 20 years gone. Charlie there, he's chasing the ghost of his daughter. Ever since his wife passed, he hasn't been the same.
These tough, street-savvy ladies are genuinely shook. The bubbly one pulls a hanky from her handbag and sniffs into it a couple of times. The sudden lump in my throat makes it hard to come up with something flip. I look at my feet for a few breaths. I didn't know.
Listen, maybe we were too hard on you. Thanks for sticking your neck out for a perfect stranger. Why don't you come in a minute, cool your heels?
Not looking for a cup of tea. Let's just say I could use 40 winks while things cool down.
Come right in. We'll take good care of you.
So long, ladies. Stay safe out there.
You too, honey.
The ledgemen crowded around the bookie probably know the score. I head in their direction, and he notices me right away.
Well, well, if it isn't the lucky lady. Such a pleasure seeing you again. You here to rifle my pockets for change?
You got a line on Mazzi? I need to have words with him.
Ho-ho! Did Mom send one of her famous doughs to shake down everyone's favorite tomato can?
You're all wet, pal. I'm not with Marm. I hawk and spit on the ground. The bookie's eyebrows raise, and I can tell I scored with that one. The ledgemen get ready for action, just in case.
So what's a pretty little thing like you want with a bastard like Mazzi anyway?
I remind myself that this guy is just a middleman. He wants to feel important, in the know. Are you serious? Luca said you were in on the action. He insisted that you were instrumental to the deal. That got his attention. He blots the corner of his mouth with a stained hanky, salivating like a dog over last night's stew meat.
Instrumental, huh? Me?
He said you've got your thumb on the pulse around here. That you'd understand. I lean in close enough to catch a lungful of his sharp chemical musk. I want to sneeze. What the future looks like in these parts, and for these folks. I shoot him a subtle wink, as if to say it was for his eyes only. He loses the dropped jaw and nods slowly, like he always knew what was up.
Right. The plan. I didn't know it was you. I don't know where Luca is right now, but we should keep talking.
I need to get out of this place. The longer I stay, the longer I stand out. Luca's got a lot of sharp edges for an operator. You know his story?
Luca's made some mistakes, but he's paid his debt and then some. The guy still blames himself for not being there for Marco. Probably always will. Is it any wonder he's always looking for pain?
Going into the fight, I heard Luca's goose was cooked. And then pow, Dom's out like a light. How did it turn around so quick?
Luca's got chin like I've never seen in the fight game, sister. It works against him because he wants to beaten more than he wants to win. Yeah, he just got tired of dancing with the kid, that's all.
So long. Someone must be working tonight, because a crane moves a giant crate out of the way. Behind it, I see a pair of intimidating figures in black, advancing on a cringing Dom. Dom's back is to a wall, looking for a way out. He stinks with fear sweat. Two of Marm's enforcers, deadly-looking ladies dressed all in black, have him cornered. I walk slow and sure, heel to toe, masking my approach. The soles of my shoes are drowned out by the endless churn and clang of industrial machinery.
I played it just like they said. I should have won. I had him beat.
Telling us you're incompetent isn't the terrific explanation you think it is. How are we supposed to sell Luca as old and feeble now, you worm?
I did as I was told. It's not my fault.
Let's just fit them both for concrete galoshes and take our chances. This worthless punk makes me sick.
Tears stream down Dom's cheeks, and he gasps with choked sobs. He might be a tough guy when he's throwing punches, but he's got a spine of soft cheese.
The boys won't accept another disappearance like that. Not without it getting worse. Listen, we could still win the next election.
I'm careful to pull my 7-shot without making a sound, but the doe on the right sniffs, catches a whiff of gun oil. She spins around, raising her own piece.
Looks like we've attracted an audience.
The doe with the gun has me at a disadvantage, but I see an angle. No good, soldier. We're right in the middle of Ledgeman territory, and there are still plenty of old-fashioned Union men around. They stand for their own. The oldest game in the world is the staring contest, and I'm in one for my life. My next heartbeat takes an eternity to land, but the does finally blink.
Damn it, she's right. We were supposed to put a scare in the little worm, not blast him in a crowd. Hang it up.
Fine. You got lucky.
Even the stinking exhaust of the docks feels like fresh mountain air once I finally breathe again. The hollow, resonant sound of a glass bottle rolling across the ground grabs our attention. From the shadows cast by the lights of a passing barge, a hulking form emerges, swathed in bandages.
Step away from the kid.
Don't be childish. Dreamland business is our business, and this man failed to deliver.
There are rules. Only I deal with my own people. Dom will face up to his mistakes soon enough. You need to go.
Who are you kidding, Luca? You remember who owns these docks? Who owns you?
Luca wordlessly lifts his left hand in a balled-up fist. From all directions, I hear the actions of pistols and the cocking of shotguns. Suddenly, I'm standing in a no man's land.
You might be able to take me out, but you two won't walk out of here if you do.
The does appear to weigh the consequences of Luca's threat. There's enough cover here on the docks that maybe they can get away with it if they move fast enough. Maybe. Luca and the does are wrapped up in their standoff, so I sweep the docks. I hear heavy breathing and catch gleams of metal, but a sudden glint of reflected glass is what catches my attention. Hang it up, ladies. They've got a long gun covering you from the top of a container stack. You won't make it 5 paces.
It doesn't have to go down that way. Just walk away.
Tension stretches out the silence until the does finally acquiesce. Their eyes hold 1,000 promises of retribution as they leave the vicinity.
How about you, miss? Are you another one of Mom's lapdogs?
You've got it wrong, big fella. I'm not with the does in any way, shape, or form. He looks me up and down. My words have fallen on deaf ears. To him, I'm just another piece of trouble he doesn't need.
Just a fight fan looking to make an easy score. Is that it?
Luca is in no mood for wheeling and dealing. Time to appeal to his better nature. Look, you got me wrong, mister. I'm interested in making everyone's life here a little better, and I need your help. Halfway through the first act of my hard sell, Dom jumps to his feet and makes for the horizon. Effortlessly, Luca grabs the fleeing Dom by the scruff of the neck with a grip as undeniable as a crane's hoist and hook.
Luca, I'm begging you. They didn't tell me what would happen. I was desperate. I got family.
Family? Look around you, Dom. Everyone here on these docks is family. They're your family too, and you almost sold them up the river.
Luca, forgive me. I won't challenge you again. I'll make it up to you.
Luca keeps eye contact with the kid. The silence grows thick. The bigger man's face is a study in anguish. His jaw flexes and releases like a bellows in an old forge.
Can't forgive you, Dom, because I'm the one who failed you. It doesn't matter what you did to me, but it's your family you put in danger today. You put them at risk for Mom's money in your pocket. So you're gonna go to every man, woman, and child you exposed to harm. And you're gonna make it right.
I will, Luca. I swear on my mama's grave, I'll make it good.
Dom backs away, then turns on his heel and runs like a dog beaten by a stern owner.
Now why are you still here, miss? Do I have to show you the express exit?
I don't understand. You're just letting him go?
Blood for blood's no way to heal a wound.
I flinch as if he slapped me. There's something to that, but I don't have time to waste. Back to business. Aren't you worried he'll go to the does? Find another way to cut your legs off?
I'm not a sap, I know it's a risk. But we're a family. If I can't forgive and trust, you just become another mob like Mom's.
I've never seen a he-man take a beating like what he dished out on you. Did you know he was trying to kill you in the ring?
This isn't the first time Mom or someone else has tried to take me out. They never get their hands dirty. Always pay off some kid too stupid to think things through.
But why did you take the beating if you knew the score?
I don't have to justify myself to you. Especially since you were willing to bet when you saw the slaughter.
I'm tired of dancing around the subject, and I'm betting he is too. Look, I can see Marm is looking to knock you down a peg. What if I offered you?
Better climb up, miss. You've been all over these docks telling people you want to go into business with me. That's as good as putting a target on your back.
Maybe I should have been a little more discreet, but it's not hopeless. Got to appeal to his better nature. This is for the greater good. A souped-up engine roars and a car skids to a stop in front of us. My piece is halfway out when Luca puts a mitt over it. These are friendlies.
Luca, we've got big trouble. It's a mess out there.
I'm on it. Miss, you said something about the greater good? Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Luca springs into action, his creaky self-flagellation forgotten. He moves with purpose and grace, like a well-oiled machine. If I help out, maybe I can win his trust. For all his lumbering gait on foot, Luca sets a decent pace as I follow him to the waterfront, where an arms deal is supposedly about to go down. Luca and I slide in behind a couple of containers to get a lay of the land. Men in white streak uniforms are moving large munitions crates into waiting dock haulers.
Come on, man. Let's get these Aether weapons moved. On the double!
What are those whitecaps doing here?
The Civil War has some of them playing mercenary. We call them Grey Caps. The Finks are selling their Aether guns in Dreamland. We need to see who's buying.
Something doesn't smell right. Men, prepare for an orderly withdrawal.
And there's our pigeon. Come on, boys. Don't let him get away.
As the Grey Caps scramble, another vehicle roars onto the scene. It's that group of sailors I saw on the docks earlier, looking for trouble. I shoot them a grin and their driver sketches me a mock salute.
Who's up for a bunny?
Right. Get at 'em, lads.
Hands off my girlfriend, you pillock.
The remaining Grey Caps beat a hasty retreat, leaving their payload behind. As Luca and I pull to a stop, a civilian car arrives on the scene. A burly ledgeman emerges, confused but alert. When he notices Luca, his face scrunches into a scowl.
Jono? What are you doing here, pal?
I bought these red Aether shooters fair and square. We need the firepower, Luca.
You've been buying from White Street behind my back? What are you thinking?
Look at what happened on White Street, Luca. The world's a more dangerous place. We need the guns to protect our own.
Jono, think about the future. You really want to deal with these mercenaries and killers? Letting them into our home? If we keep this going, things are only gonna get worse.
Luca, these things do as much damage to bystanders as they do to soldiers. You've got to get rid of them for good.
Yeah, I know. You're right. Jono, I hate to do this, but you've wasted your money.
Luca and I arrive on the scene and all is chaos. A runaway truck filled to the brim with explosives is weaving back and forth. Fireballs erupt along the road as the crates spill out the back. The truck driver is slumped over his wheel, out cold. The vehicle is out of control and whatever it's hauling is flammable as hell.
We've got to get that thing off the road no matter what. Run it off or blow it sky high before it can do more damage.
The words are barely out of Luca's mouth before another flaming crate flies out of the back of the runaway truck, igniting in a pillar of flame that shakes the ground.
This is getting serious.
Now or never. We need to stop that truck.
Ah, help me!
Protect those civilians!
Ah, help me! Ah, help me! Ah, help me!
Got him.
Driver's coming too. Good job. Let's get this payload off the truck and away from the fire, quick.
My skin is crawling as we manhandle crates of explosives off the rig before they can go up in flames. I notice that the crates are stamped for delivery to Rogers Point. In the distance, repulsors start to fail over a Ledgeman neighborhood. It's beginning to crumble, homes spinning into the void. Groups of residents are fleeing the other way.
Over there, Luca.
We've got to step on it. The place is falling apart.
You're getting your comeuppance, Moxie!
This has gone far enough.
What do you aim to do about it, Punchy?
My worst. Let's see how you like it.
It's time for you to have a little accident. The permanent kind.
So what's the play, Luca?
Why even bother? Marm's got your number.
Let down your people, Luca! Just give up!
Help me!
doing so well.
My car's totaled! Oh,
Luca! Luca's here! Come on, we don't have time to waste. Let's get you somewhere safe.
thanks for looking out for us, Luca. You too, lady.
We enter Congress Hall, where Luca and the other officers call home. Cooking smells throughout are punctuated by the sound of children playing, of people talking in unguarded tones. Rapid footsteps announce a small woman with kind eyes who clings to Luca. The giant shares some murmured words with his wife. For the first time since we met, the lines on his forehead disappear.
Oh good, I'm glad you made it on time. I hate when you work so late you miss dinner.
After giving his wife a comforting squeeze, Luca looks up. He roughly swipes at some unshed tears before addressing me. I can tell I wasn't meant to see that.
I admit it, little miss. I was wrong. You did good today. I'm glad you were here.
Luke is a rare bird who practices what he preaches. A good man by any count. But I wasted a whole day helping with no profit. Was it worth it?
I'm gonna go get us some food. You stay here with Diane. Take a load off. You've earned it.
Luca changes his smoldering coat and hat for cleaner fare, kisses his wife, and is out the door.
Thanks for helping Luca. Not everyone is a helper, you know. Sit a while, let's talk.
I don't know Luca that well. I'd love to hear a story about you two.
We met at a block party when we were kids. I was with a different boy who brought me sweets and flowers. Halfway through, I went to go talk to some friends from school.
And?
When I returned, I couldn't find my date anywhere. Eventually, I found him in an alley, kissing Susie Carpenter. I started to give him a piece of my mind when he pushed me down.
That's horrible.
Out of nowhere comes this little fire plug of a kid. The Motzi boy from down the street. I had always seen him, but hadn't seen him, you know? He shoved my date, started swinging.
Even back then?
Even back then. He kept getting hit over and over and over, but he wouldn't back down. Eventually, he got in a lucky shot, and my would-be date left the party.
And he asked you out then, right?
Not hardly. Blood everywhere. Luca nodded at me like I was one of his buddies and left to find his brother. It took Luca a good 6 years to suck up the courage to court me.
How about you, Diane? Everyone talks about Luca and his people. How do you keep this place going?
Oh, well, where do I start? When I was younger, I wanted to be a nurse. My cousin was badly hurt in a fight with some countryside raiders using mustard gas left over from the war.
Ugh, that's awful.
He came to stay with us. I took care of him most of the time. His lungs were so bad he could hardly walk more than a few paces. Couldn't talk. We wrote letters to each other in the same room.
That sounds like a lonely way to live.
Maybe so, but the experience taught me a lot about the value of kindness and hope. A little goes a long way, my mother always said.
Luca seems pretty invested in the Ledgemen. Was he always like this?
You have to understand, he lost someone a while back. Someone important. He swore he wouldn't let us down, and he hasn't. But he takes so much punishment. It's a hard life.
For some reason, I stop and think of Zio. Diane leans over and takes my left hand in both of hers. She offers me a smile free from guile or doubt.
Luca says you helped. That's what counts.
You two seem to really love each other.
It's not always easy. He's a man who has taken on a lot of challenges in his life, and I try to help him put his worries to rest so he can sleep at night.
I suppose I haven't known too many happy couples in my life. Isn't it hard?
Well, you know, when you find the right one, you can't help but know it. When we're alone, when he lets me in past the noise and mess, he makes it all worthwhile.
Mind if I look around?
Go right ahead.
These are some of the people we saved from the crumbling chunk of the island. They've been given mugs of soup and blankets for now. How are you holding up? I've never seen anything like that before.
We're still alive. We can always rebuild our homes. Not so easy with our families.
So you got your people out in time?
Thanks to Luca, and thanks to you. It was a close thing. I know all—
Have you been a Ledgeman long?
All my life.
Do you know Luca well?
Not that well. We were from different blocks, but I've never had to worry about him doing the right thing. He just does.
The right thing, huh? What makes you so sure?
Because there are about 1,000 ways a guy like Luca can make a bent penny in his position, and he's never fallen for it. Every deal he's ever made has been to keep us going. That's a fact.
It sounds like a lot of you depend on him.
I'm not sure it has to do with us. It has more to do with what he thinks his brother would have done in his place. He can't let that go.
His brother?
I can't tell you about that. He wouldn't like it. But I'll tell you this for free. He wouldn't have rested until he did all he could for us. Even if it meant his life. Especially if it meant his life.
Hell of a thing to do after that beating he took.
I thought he'd drop before he got us out of there. I worry about him. But I would worry even more about us without.
Yes! I'll call and raise you 5.
Well, well, well.
Oh, it's you. I don't want to talk to you.
It's strange hearing such a petulant tone from a lean, muscled dynamo like Dom. It's like he's a little boy pretending he doesn't know what he did. Surprised they let you in here, seeing as how you're a traitor and all.
Lady, you don't know nothing about union business. Do you have to harp on me?
I pity the upstart, but only so far. He dug his own hole. It's up to him to find his way out. Why did you turn on Luca anyway? He seems to care about you. How could you throw that away?
The Does said Luca wasn't going to be around forever. Said I could be better than him. Partner with Mom. Guess I really screwed up.
What did she offer anyway?
Mom, she promised that she'd take care of my ma if I did this thing for her. My ma raised me alone since I was just a kid, after my pops died. She's in a wheelchair now. Life's hard for her.
And she promised you'd be the new boss down at the docks, right?
That too, yeah.
As he talks, his tone goes sour. He's realizing how Marm's promises would have gone unfulfilled. He never considered who would have lost by his gains. Want some advice from someone who's made plenty of mistakes? Give people something new to remember you by, instead of for your screw-up.
Yeah? What do you suggest, Big Mouth?
There are a lot of people hurting from those new islands being added. People I've talked to say you're like bottled lightning in the ring. Maybe put some of that energy toward helping instead.
Huh. Yeah, I guess sitting here isn't doing me any favors. I should go.
A group of men are sitting around a table, knocking back drinks and talking about the fight. I recognize Jono and his cronies from the fight with the gunrunners. Evening, boys.
Oh, it's you. What do you want?
Why, yes, I'd love to have a drink. Thanks so much for asking. What a gentleman. I grab an empty chair and drag it over to the table. Two of the men reluctantly make room for me, their chair legs scraping loudly against the floor tile. You took a hell of a chance today.
Everything panned out okay. No harm, no foul, right?
If you say so. It took cast iron balls to go behind Luca's back for those Aether weapons. What are you after?
Look, I think fast, I move fast. I saw an opportunity and I took it. I did it for all of us, not because I love the damn things.
What do you mean?
Look, these red Aether guns, they're out on the streets now. I don't intend for us to get caught with our pants down, at the mercy of some sleazy warlord just because we wouldn't get with the times. Thanks to Luca, if someone does come sniffing around toting his own set of Aether guns, we'll end up paying a higher price.
You must have known Luca a while.
Yeah, we grew up together.
Was he like this when he was growing up, too?
You wouldn't know it these days, but Luca was a happy kid. He always liked to scrap, but it was no hard feelings. Sure, he loved getting into trouble, but he was also the quickest to patch things up. Ever since, well, these days, he figures he owes for what he's done, see? There's nothing but hard feelings about who he is, what he's done.
What he's done? What do you mean?
Sorry, lady, but that's Luca's story to tell. If I were you, I'd leave well enough alone.
Luca seems rough around the edges, but he seems to put a lot on the line for his people.
Yeah, he puts his life on the line all right, but not because he's some kind of saint. I think he's counting on his luck running out, if you ask me.
So he really does have a death wish? You sure about that?
I've known the guy 20 years. He doesn't do what he does out of the goodness of his heart. He fights for us because he loves to get his teeth kicked in. Because he deserves it.
You don't really mean that.
Doesn't matter what I think, or what he thinks. What matters to me is what he does, not why. He does his best to do right by us. That's enough for me for now.
The half-pint kid loiters in front of the phonograph at the center of the room, fidgeting. He eyes the phonograph's crank and sighs moodily.
Sorry, miss, but the phonograph is broken. Luca said he'll get someone to fix it, but it's been a while.
So, what do you do here, kid?
I keep the player cranked. See what the mood's like in here, change discs to match. It's a good job for a guy like me.
What do you mean, a guy like you?
My folks died a while back. Luca says I can work the ledge once I'm big enough. But for now, I stay here in the hall.
So, what's Luca's favorite?
He likes everything by Benny Goodman. But...
What?
When he thinks I'm asleep for the night, he sits and listens to classical music. Impressionist stuff, like Debussy. Sometimes I sit on the stairs over there and watch him listen.
Why doesn't he ask you to play it for him?
He gets... lost. He just sits there and looks at his hands for a long time. I don't think he likes anyone seeing him when he's like that.
Let me have a look at it, kid. It turns out the fix was a simple one. The tone arm was just out of balance. A few minutes of fiddling and beautiful music poured forth.
Say, thanks, lady. One of the fellas brought in this album for me since I'm a fan. But I think you earned it instead.
The album is The King Porter Stomp by Jelly Roll Morton. Cress ought to love this. Thanks. I have a friend who is crazy about this stuff. Take care, kid.
Okay, Mrs. Jackson made some of a sourdough, and Mrs. O'Hara made a beef stew. Mrs. Magnola brought in the yams.
Great. I'm starved. Your people really care. I can't stand it anymore. Keeping my cards hidden, talking around the subject. I have to let down my guard, just for a few minutes. We need to fix the well. It's getting worse. Lots worse. And plenty of people will die. The lowers will be gone like they never existed. Over whispered tones, I give Luca everything. Nellie, the underground, the heist. I had to. There's no world where I hold back and he joins up. And if he says no, Luca opens his mouth to retort, but Diane shakes her head slowly. She takes one of it. Diane leans over and whispers to Luca. He smiles, the first I've seen on his face.
You're right. She reminds me of him too. Before we go any further, I need to know something. Why don't you just leave? Just pull up stakes. Nothing's keeping you here, right?
I swallow hard, knowing my next words must be chosen with perfect care. I've got to come up with something juicy to inspire action. Talking about my motivations makes me feel like a liar anyway. Surely it's okay if I bend the truth a little. He'll believe greed. I've got interests, financial and otherwise, in Dreamland. I don't want to see them go down the drain. Even if I leave, I'll be in the poorhouse.
I see right through you, miss. Mom would never let it go down that way.
Look, Luca. I've been through fire and blood over this. I don't want to heist pandemonium any more than you do. I'm scared what happens if we don't.
Okay. I don't think you're telling me the whole truth, but there's something to what you're saying.
Diane nods to herself, then stands up and pours us cups of coffee. Luca folds his hands, eyes looking into the middle distance, contemplating.
Hell of a thing, but it makes sense. Anyone who was around when Lady Liberty went down the hatch. Down in our gut, we knew the well would be a problem. One day.
So will you help? I can't pull this off without you.
It's really not up to me. At least not me alone. We'll need to take a vote.
You're serious?
Either they send me or I don't go. I've got responsibilities here. I'll need to convince them. No time like the present.
Despite his resolve, I can sense the unease in the Iron Gladiator's approach. The direction he takes here in this moment feels important. This could change everything for Luca and the dogs. This vote is too important for me to take chances. Time to lean into that sense of guilt Luca carries around with him. These people are your family. You don't have to suffer alone. Don't be afraid to talk to them about Marco. Trust them. They can help you heal. Diane's hands fly to her mouth as Luca wheels on me, breathless with rage. He cocks a fist the size of a bowling ball, his lip curled in a snarl. Something I said must have gotten through to him. He hasn't made a move yet, even though his eyes are blazing like a blast furnace. Don't you think it's about time you thought about someone besides yourself for a change? How do you think your wife feels, seeing you walking around, trying to get killed over your guilt? I'm so focused on Luca that I don't see Diane's slap coming for me until it's already landed. Luca looks stunned. Tears begin to well up in the corners of his eyes. Diane covers her face.
Diane, I wasn't thinking except about how I screwed up, about how I deserved to die for letting him down. How could I think about leaving you alone? Letting you down too.
Luca gathers himself for a time, Diane's hand on his shoulder, engulfed by his bulldozer scoop of a hand. It only feels like eternity before he finally climbs to his feet, stretching his lower back.
Here we go, ladies. Wish me luck.
Luca stands in front of the crowd silently. One conversation after another dwindles into silence until the labor hall is completely hushed aside from a few babies mewling in their mother's arms.
I talk about trust to you often enough. Trust me, trust each other. But some stuff happened today to make me realize I haven't been trusting you. Some of you who have been around a while remember my brother Marco. He was everything I'm not. Smart, bookish, principled.
Whispers carry across the hall. The old-timers in the crowd shuffle in place with nervous energy, pale as ghosts, eyes fey. Is this reconstruction? Self-destruction?
He was a man of vision, my little brother. He wanted us to have an incorruptible organization. Something pure. Something free of greed and cunning. The powers that be couldn't have that. They struck us down, took our best. And now we live off scraps from their table, waiting for the killing blow.
Diane's eyes are filled with tears. Her body tenses like she wants to stand with him, but she is holding back, barely. I offer her my left hand, a new friend offering comfort. She takes it willingly.
See, I wanted to be dead too. But that's not right, right? His vision is still alive. It doesn't have to end with him. I tried hard to make it right. But it was never gonna be right because I was wrapped up in my loss. Like it made me special. We've lost a lot. But we don't need to lose everything. We can fight. We can find our way forward. Even if it means busting some teeth and taking a few lumps in return. This lady here, she comes to us with a plan to close up the well. The same well that will one day take all of the lowers. For our friends, our families, ourselves. We need your help. I'm calling a vote. Yay or nay? Yay!
Luca stands in front of the murmuring crowd, one fist clenched in victory. Diane stands up from her seat and goes to him. They clutch each other and I look away like I'm looking at the noonday sun. The air feels lighter somehow. The radiance of their love and trust burning away the dark clouds of bitter failure. I know at that moment that the Luca that Diane married is on his way home.
There's the support you needed, Gia. We're all in, no matter what.
You took a mighty big risk there, miss. Thanks for, saying what everyone was too kind to say to me. Thanks for the kick in the pants.
As the assembly breaks, various ledgemen pass by, offering their hands to Luca. They even spare a smile or two for yours truly. Thanks for your help, big fella. I knew finding you was the right move.
Whatever happens next, little miss, you've got a home among us ledgemen. If everything else goes wrong.
Luca claps his hands together, calling us to action.
We've got a heist to plan. Diane, I'll be gone for a while. Don't wait up.
Come home soon, dear. Be careful out there. We need you.
I have every reason to be careful, love. I'll be back.